books that I've read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. One of our advocacy helping non-drinkers see the world sober. He's a travel writer, longtime sober person who wants to help others. Well, none other than Miss Teresa Bergen.
Hi, Daniel. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
Welcome, Mr. Rasa on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, well, so as you said, I've been sober for a long time. I'm also a travel writer, and I live in Portland, Oregon. So, being a travel writer, you encounter a lot of destinations that want you to go to their wineries and try this cocktail and that cocktail. So, sometimes can be a problem. So, I feel that pain of other people who are trying to travel without drinking. But I wrote this book to help people see all the fun they can have and all the opportunities when they don't drink while they're traveling.
That'd be interesting, Mr. Rasa. So today let's talk about the ditching booze can make a vacation way more fun. Is it the same with the book, the topic that we are talking about? The same topic?
Well, yeah, my latest book. I have a few books out, but my latest book is a sober travel handbook. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all tips about traveling without drinking.
Okay, that'd be awesome. So let's start with the big picture. For many vacation men's cocktails by the pool and wine with dinner, what is the core misconception about the role of alcohol in creating a real holiday experience?
Well, I think one of the misconceptions is that it has to be the norm, and that makes a lot of people feel left out because a lot of people don't drink. So we have people like me who are in recovery, and so we don't drink because it's dangerous. We can't handle ourselves drinking, and we make an ass out of ourselves and do embarrassing things and ruin our lives. But then we also have people who don't drink for other reasons, like maybe they're pregnant or they have a medication interaction or they have a religion, they follow a religion that doesn't encourage drinking. So you have a pretty big set of people that are constantly coming up against these an alcohol centric society and feeling left out.
Mm. Interesting, Mr. Reza. The thought of a sober vacation can initially feel like deprivation or deprivation or deprivation. How
Yeah.
do we refrain it from giving something up to consciously choosing something better, like a deeper engagement, richer memories, or genuine energy?
Or sometimes memory at all. I mean, a lot of people go on a vacation and they have that mentality of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So they think that the measure of their vacation is having fun, and a fun means drinking too much, doing stupid things, and lots of times not even remembering and then waking up and feeling terrible. So I think you just have to shift the mindset to what you want out of the vacation. Maybe instead of having this kind of what you think is supposed to be fun, you're going to make some real memories that you actually remember, and maybe you're going to try something different than you've done before. Um, like I've discovered a lot of things that I like to do since I stopped drinking that I never would have bothered to try before if I was just sitting at a bar. So for me, some of those things are water sports. Like I got really into kayaking and open water swimming, and just 2 years ago I got certified for scuba diving. And all those things are things that don't really mix very well with drinking. I mean, sure, you could have like a little bit to drink if you wanted to and do those things, but most people who get up at 7 to go open water swim or who are going scuba diving, they're not people that are drinking a whole lot because it just doesn't feel right together.
So, Mr. Rosa, a major benefit you talk about is the absence of hangover. But
Mhm.
beyond just avoiding a headache, how does waking up fully clear headed on a vacation fundamentally change the possibilities of your day?
Oh, it's so much easier to want to get up and do stuff because if you don't feel well, you're not, even if you planned activities that you thought you might enjoy, they're not going to be that fun because you're going to be like, oh, my head, oh, my eyes, it's so bright. I got to put my sunglasses on. So it's going to make it easier to get up and do activities. And also, you're going to be more connected with people because I feel like when I travel, as a tourist, I'm only going to get a glimpse into different cultures. I'm not going to really understand just by traveling somewhere, but I can at least get a glimpse if I'm sober and clear headed and make an effort to connect with people. But if you're hungover, you're just going to see the people in the place. You're just going to be like, oh, don't talk to me. So I think it makes it much easier to connect with people at your destination.
Yes, definitely connect with the sober mentality. Deepening the experience and connection, Miss Teresa. Alcohol is often a social lubricant, especially in unfamiliar setting. Without it, the more authentic and interesting ways to connect with travel companions or locals have you discovered?
Oh, well, you just want to go different places because I'm not going to lie and say it's so easy. Like if you go somewhere where everyone's drinking, it's not going to feel that comfortable and you might not want to hang around there for a long time. So you got to find the activities that people do where they're not drinking so much because that's going to be the key for feeling like you're belonging and having a good time and getting to know other people. So again, some of those activities like the water activities or, hiking's really good because who wants to carry a whole bunch of booze when they're like walking up a mountain? So you just try to find those activities that don't center on alcohol, and then that's going to be easier to connect with people.
Mm, that'd be awesome. Mr. Rasa, that'd be awesome. So, travel is about immersion in a new cultures, cuisines, and landscapes. How does removing alcohol actually heighten your sense of deepen that emotion or yes, immersion in a way that impossible with drink in hand?
Well, it depends on the person. Like those of us who drank a lot were
Mm.
really focused on the drink. So we weren't so focused on the place. Um, like if I had a drink and I put it down on the table and then I went across the room and someone started to talk to me, I was still thinking about where my drink was and getting back to my drink. So
Mhm.
if you drink a lot, you might have that experience. And even if you don't drink as much, it still might be something that comes between you and getting to know other people. If you're fuzzy headed, if your memory's impaired by drinking that much.
Mm, yes, definitely. They say drink moderately, isn't it? So, can you share a specific memory or moment from a sober trip that was so vivid or joyful or profound that if certain you would have missed it, or it would be an adult if you don't drink or if you've been drinking?
Well, I have this. There was this one time I got the chance to go to the country of Jordan, which was really, really beautiful. And I was with a group of other travel writers. It was a press trip, and people were showing us around. And there was a chance to go to the top sunset spot in the area, and we were going to see the sunset over the desert. It was near Petra. It was just really beautiful, and it was the kind of place I was probably only going to be once in my life. And the other writers, most of them drank. And in Jordan, it's a Muslim country. It's drinking is not very prevalent, but you can drink in the hotel bar. And so everybody else on that trip, there were like maybe 6 or 7 of us. Everybody else chose to go watch the sunset from the hotel bar, even though it wasn't as good of a viewpoint as to go to the really good viewpoint. And I went to the viewpoint myself, and it was a little weird because I felt a little bit disconnected from the people, but it really made me think about how when you choose the alcohol, sometimes you're compromising something else that could have been a better experience. So I went and I saw the most excellent sunset there over the desert.
The practical strategies and navigating challenges, Mr. Asa. Let's talk about the practicalities. What are your top strategies for gracefully navigating situation where drinking is a default expectations, like resorts, all-inclusive brewery tours, or a group dinner?
Well, if it's something like a brewery tour or a winery tour, I will usually try to get out of it because that's usually all about the drink. So if I can, I will excuse myself and do something else. Even if it's like if I have to go to a winery, I might get a chance to just walk in the vineyard instead. The vineyard's very, very pretty usually. So I'll go for
Yes.
a walk outside. If
Mm.
it's dinner, then if there's anybody else who doesn't drink, it's nice to sit near them and have kind of a unified front of turning the wine glasses upside down. Um, and then if people offer me the alcohol, I just try to graciously say no. And sometimes this can be hard because if you're a non-drinker and you feel like everybody's going on and on and on about how great the drink is, you might start to feel resentful. But if I can just keep saying no, thank you, and smiling, looking polite, no, thank you, no, thank you, then that's better than going on and on about oh my problems or anything like that. You just try to maybe say no, thank you, get some sparkling water, change the subject.
Hmm. Thank you. No way. For people who love it, ritual of a drink or a clink of glasses or a cool glass, what are the some satisfying celebratory or non-alcoholic alternatives that feel just as special?
Oh, there are so many these days. I'm not good at all the brands, but I have had some very delicious non-alcoholic kind of sparkling stuff, like some non-alcoholic champagnes that are good. I like some of the non-alcoholic booze. Like there's a brand called Dose that's out of Oregon. It's DHOS, and they make some really delicious fake gin and tequila. I don't think it tastes exactly the same, but for me, it's been so long that I don't really remember exactly what it's supposed to taste like. So it's just a very interesting flavor. And it changes your like if you add it to sparkling water or something, then it becomes more like the sort of cocktail that you just sort of sip rather than guzzle. So it feels like you're kind of matching people sip for sip at a cocktail place. And then any kind of, I love sparkling water, all the different flavored ones. So those are always good. Or ginger beers are nice. But there's a lot of
Hmm.
things too now that feel more adult and not like you're just drinking your like a Shirley Temple or a child's drink. Oh, and the Pathfinder is good too. That's a brand that's out of the Seattle area, and they make some real interesting kind of non-alcoholic booze.
A challenge can be evening transition, isn't it? After a full day of exploring, how do you create a clear day is a dawn? Now it's relaxed time. A signal without a glass of wine or a beer.
One thing is I've shifted as I've got older, as I've become more of a morning person than I used to. So I just don't stay up as late, and then I get up earlier. And other things I do to relax at night. I mean, I like to read books. If I'm somewhere where it's nice to go, I walk out. I like to walk outside, maybe enjoy some moonlight. Or I also like to watch crime shows. So I relax by watching people get murdered in foreign crime shows from around the world. You
Okay.
can't just be all beauty and light, right? You have to have a little dark side.
Beauty and light. So, how does look like if I consciously design on a vacation itinerary or choose a destination with wellness, adventure, or cultural engagement as the priority rather than the nightlife?
Oh, there's so many places. There's just endless places that have natural beauty and interesting cultures. So I don't know where to start with that, but I could just tell you a few. Maybe I'll just tell you a couple examples of ones of trips I've gone on that featured more of the culture and the nature. So, like a couple of years ago, my husband and I got to raft the Grand Canyon, and that was
Hmm.
really cool. It was like all day you're rafting down these giant rapids, and then at night you're sleeping outside under stars. And people could bring alcohol if they wanted, and some people brought it, but it wasn't a very big factor. It was like they might have one or two beers around the campfire at night, but we had to get up at like 5:30 in the morning, so nobody was drinking heavily. So that was like a really nature-based active trip, and that was a good kind of itinerary. Or if I also have gone to some countries I've been to some of the countries in the Middle East, and those are nice because you can learn a lot about history and archaeology, and people don't drink very much there, and so there's lots of really delicious like mint teas and lemonades and things like that. So I'd say just
Hmm.
look for something that's either culturally different that you're going to get interest in or a lot of nature. Those are my favorites anyway.
Financially, how much does removing alcohol from the equation actually free up your vacation budget for the meaningfully upgrades or experiences?
Oh, I haven't drank for so long, but I know the drinks just keep getting more expensive. So
Hmm.
it depends on how much a person drinks. Because if you just drink like one or two drinks, it's probably not going to make that much difference. But if you're a heavy drinker and you're drinking, say, I don't know, 5 to 10 or more drinks a day, and they're what? How much is a drink now? $12 or something. I don't know. It'll add up. So you might have, I don't know, maybe you'd have an extra $100 a day, depending on how much you drink, that you could do something different with.
Well, Mr. Rasa, as an author, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Oh, I guess just to keep having the opportunity to write things that I'm interested in that will somehow benefit the reader. And that's sometimes a bit of a balance. Like my next book that I'm working on now, I'm just negotiating with my publisher to see what sort of book. And I came into it more from, I had this idea of writing it was sort of like a more memoir based book about traveling as a sober travel writer. Um, and I was going to call it 100 Places I Didn't Drink, which I thought was a cute title. But
Mm-hmm.
the publisher, they were like, memoir, I don't know if the public's that interested. We need to make it more geared toward the reader. So they came up with the idea of 100 places to visit sober, which is kind of interesting if you think about it. So I was thinking more, my original one was focused more on me, right? But the
Yes.
publisher saying, the author isn't as important as the reader. You have to think about how you serve the reader more than telling your own story. So that was a good insight for me. So now we're working on that.
Looking forward for that.
Thanks.
Mr. Rasa, please do come over and let's talk about it in Book 101 review. So what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be an author like you, and good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success.
For me, so I started out, the things I was really interested in writing were novels. And I have written many novels, and I've had agents 3 times, and none of them managed to sell any. They just weren't that interested. To me, they were really interesting. I don't know. For some reason, they didn't make it that way. The things that I have managed to have a traditional publisher publish are books where there was a bit of a gap in the market. So, like this one, there wasn't another book out there for how to travel sober. Now, whether or not there will be a big enough market to really care is another question, but there was a gap there. And also, one of my other books that I wrote with my friend Heidi Davis during the pandemic is called Historic Cemeteries of Portland, Oregon. We both really love cemeteries, and there wasn't another book that was just about all the cemeteries in Portland. So I'd say if you're writing nonfiction, just look for a gap and fill it. Or if you have a different take on something that's already been written about, just make sure you have a different take so that you can convince a publisher that the readers will care.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and thank you for that advice, Mr. Rasa. So can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Oh, well, for this one, I brought a few books to show off here to your guests, and these are ones that just influenced me in writing about sober travel. So when I was trying to figure out how to write this book, I was kind of torn between travel and self-help and mental health, which are two different sections of the bookstore, right? So I'm like, how do I combine those two? And is it going to be more of a mental health book or is it more of a travel book? I really didn't know how to approach it. And then I found this book, um, a Lonely Planet book, the digital nomad handbook. And it's like very snappy and short little parts. Wait, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you're all even looking at the video, but I'm showing you that
Yes.
it's like a lot of white space. It's not real dense. You can pick it up anywhere. And I realized I wanted more of a travel book that was through the lens of sobriety, but was still a travel book and wasn't like a ponderous self-help tome. So that helped me a lot. And then I started also reading books that were through a specific lens because, like, if you take somewhere like Paris, right, that everybody writes about. So you might
Yes.
write about it differently if you're coming from looking at it as a sober person, or you're looking at it as a wheelchair user, or as a digital nomad, or as a gay person, right? It's like all these different Parises. So I was looking for books that went looked at a different lens. So I had this one, Airplane Mode, really good. It's written by Shahnaz Habib. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name quite right, but she's Indian-born Muslim woman. So she's looking at sort of the history of travel writing as this kind of colonial, mostly white male kind of history, and she's sort of rewriting and seeing things through a different lens. Or this one, Braver Than You Think, by Maggie Downs. she's writing about seeing the world after her mother's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she's trying to go all the places her mother never got a chance to go. So she's seeing it through this adventure, a weird combination of adventure and grief. So I've been reading some books like that lately, where it's just a different lens that people are looking at. Maybe there's a place through that we haven't seen before.
Well, thank you for the recommended books, Mr. Rasa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, for the listeners who is intrigued but nervous, what's low stakes way to experiment what this is concept? Sober day during trip a long weekend.
Oh, a long week. Well, one of my friends who I interviewed for this book, I interviewed a ton of people, and he was talking about how if you're thinking you might want to go on a sober vacation, but you weren't sure you were up for it yet, to start really small. Like just go out to dinner with some friends who are drinking and see how you feel if you can manage to not drink alcohol while you're out with them. So start really small like that and see how you feel. Um, Especially if you're someone who's in recovery, you really don't want to blow it. The stakes are higher if you're in recovery because you can really mess up your life quickly. So, you want to be kind of careful. And then when you do go out on that long weekend, make sure you have some kind of support system, someone you check in with at home, that you're accountable. So you're not saying, "Ooh, I'm in this different place. So I'm a different person and I can just do anything." So, yeah, you want the accountability.
Hmm. Accountability indeed. And Mr. Rasa, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please to listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in sixth season as well, comedy 101 in third season, and Bob Food 101 in sixth season as well, geography 101, love letters, Movie 101 Review, Music 101, our fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101, fourth season, and Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. So please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Rasa, ultimately, if a goal on vacation is return home feeling restored, enriched, and happier, how does ditching booze not just protect the goal, but actively amplify it?
Amplify the life amplify the goal of coming home rested.
Yes, and rich and happier.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're just going to feel healthier. I mean, there's been a lot of research out about alcohol recently, and it's connected with cancer and connected with depression. And so, yeah, you're just going to be a healthier person. And I have to say,
Mm.
Dan, like you are a podcast monster. I had not realized how many podcasts you're involved with. That is so
Thank
impressive.
you. Thank you, Mr. Russell. Thank you. I'm inviting you to all this podcast. I hope you will part of it. Let's do abstract essay again, and let's talk about the writing process of all your books. Okay. Then after that, geography 101. Let's talk about all the places that you've been through. After that, let's motivation 101. Let's motivate people to be sober. Oh, right.
Okay, we're going to be busy. We have a long relationship ahead of us.
Yes, long, long, long for sure. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Rasa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you need an applause for that.
Oh, a little bit of applause. That's enough.
Yes, thank you for being my regular guest for sure. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, or whatever project that you're doing right now?
Yeah, if you want to learn more, you can go to my website, which is just my name, teresabergen.com. TeresaBergen. And good luck with whatever you're working on, whether you're working on sobriety, whether you're working on a book, or any other your goals in life.
Mm. Yes, people, lots about Mr. Teresa Bergen because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this to come. I have one more question, Mr. Reza. If someone who use alcohol to manage social anxiety on trips, what are the first steps or compassionate self-talk you recommend to try different approach?
Yeah, that's an important one. So lots of times I've gone to places where we're outside my comfort zone. So I think you have to give yourself a lot of credit for trying. And if you really don't like it when you're there, give yourself an exit strategy to leave early. Like if you're business networking, or if you dare to go to something like a bachelorette party or something like that, give yourself the grace to try it, give yourself credit, and if it sucks, just get yourself out of there quickly.
Definitely. So, Mr. Teresa Bergen, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thank you, Daniel.
What can people see you soon?
Okay.
Okay.